Hello everybody, welcome back. Hope you've all enjoyed your lunch. Just like to remind everybody again, really important we do the tweeting and the hashtag WIDConf21. Again, later on this afternoon we'll be running the competition and there'll be another very worthy winner of their tweets. What we're going to do now is it's time for the Dairy Industry Woman of the Year award presentation. I will say again, it was really, really tough. It was really tricky. I'll just say a few little words of kind of what it meant to me, really. And I think when I won it, apart from being extremely surprised and shocked, which I think really came across on the evening, it was probably one of the most fantastic moments in my career, and I've really milked it. Literally. I ended up with a spread in Cheshire Life, which I'm very proud of because the Real Housewives of Cheshire were in Cheshire Life as well. And I actually managed to have more pages than they did. So that was fantastic. I just think it's been a real honour, and I hope that it kind of recognised the passion that I have for the industry, which I know a lot of us share. And whoever takes it, I'd just say, look after the crown and keep it safe, but really enjoy it. For us as a business, it was really good. And it was very surprising that a lot of customers that came to the Milk Shack or on the delivery round actually found out about it. So I suppose it would have been from following us online. And I used to get, and I still do get, some really lovely messages on the whiteboard in the Milk Shack, and the milk customers often message saying, oh wow, you've done amazing, you're the Dairy Industry Woman of the Year, it's fantastic. So it is something really, it's recognised, and it's just something that's a real honour to have. So that's enough about me, because we need to know who's taking my crown and where it's going to. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the finalists are Amy Eggleston, Sophie Gregory, and Poppy and Josie Lewis. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet each of the finalists, and they're going to be introduced by a member of the Woman in Dairy team. And I think we need to go over there now because there's just going to be too much suspense, isn't it? We can't keep people waiting any longer. So hopefully Amy's ready and Emily's ready. Are we there? Okay. Hi, Amy.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Lovely to see you again. Yeah. Okay, and then we have our Emily, who's going to have a chat with you. Okay, over to you, ladies.
Thanks,
Karen. Hi, Amy, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. So Amy is our first finalist in the Dairy Industry Woman of the Year award this year. It's slightly different this year because all of the finalists are quite young compared to some of the very worthy winners we've had before. So Amy is from a farming family and she studied at university in Leeds. She loved the city life so much that she found herself in a corporate job down in London. But unfortunately, she had a skiing accident and broke her neck, which ended up being possibly quite fortuitous, would you say, Amy?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it when you tell the story, but
no, it doesn't. But it meant that she had to choose between staying in the city or moving back home to the family farm, and she chose to go back to Leicestershire. So she went back home to the cows and hasn't looked back. She wanted to get stuck in and says she's learned everything from her dad, who's been her inspiration to get that passion for dairy farming and for the cows. After she moved back to Leicester, she set up an Instagram account to show her London friends what life in the countryside was really like, as a way of connecting with them. And now she has over 15,000 followers. Is that right?
Yeah.
Just a few, just, you know. So which is just amazing, and she uses that platform every day to connect with the public and with other people working in the industry. You're regularly posting updates and videos and stories and answering people's questions, you know, taking a lot of time out of your day to show people what it is really like to be working on a farm in the British countryside. So you're showing the highs and the lows, and you're really passionate about informing people about farming as a career and the positives of dairy products and the dairy industry. Somehow, as well as doing all this work on farm, she has found the time to set up her own communications company called Pastures Green, which is based on her previous work down in London. She was doing a lot of things in marketing there. So she was getting approached by other companies asking for help with social media and their websites. And Pastures Green began, was it 2 years ago, Amy? Or yeah. And still putting, finding time to run that alongside all of her work on farm. So that's just a really quick introduction to you. But can I ask you, Amy, what would you say has been your biggest achievement since you've been back in the dairy industry?
Oh, it's hard, isn't it, to answer? To be honest, I feel so proud when my own friends who don't come from farming backgrounds kind of come up with the facts that I know has come from me, and they say, oh, that's not right, because they've seen it in action. And seeing people, whether it's my friends or whether it's people I've kind of connected with online, feel confident enough to say, I know that's not true because I've seen what happens on a real working dairy farm. That makes me really proud. But a big achievement was a couple of months ago, I got a message from a lady on Instagram, basically just saying she'd been following along and she worked in the technical team at Harrods, and she wanted to come and just basically learn about dairy cows. She'd been promoted into the dairy role and she didn't know anything about cows. And so we had the technical manager and the technical director at Harrods on the farm, and just took them round. And I kind of thought, it doesn't matter who's seeing these stories, whether it's someone who is farming or whether it's someone like her who just wants a bit more information so that she can fact check, I guess. It was just like, yeah, it's kind of doing what I set out to do at the start.
Amazing. And like you say, it's getting that, how often would somebody who works at Harrods get the opportunity to go onto an actual dairy farm and speak to somebody who's doing a role like yours? I think it's amazing that you've connected with them in that way. The only other question I was going to ask is, what would you say to somebody, because I know we talked about this when you had your interview, and actually all of the finalists commented on the need to kind of promote dairy farming as a career and as a viable option to people who are looking at what they're going to do with going into their working lives. So what would your kind of advice be, or what would you say to somebody who was thinking about getting into dairy?
Well, literally the only thing you can do is just give it a go. It's not for everyone, and I'm in no way kind of thinking that it is, but for the people that are passionate about animals and connecting with customers, I think sharing the dairy story is more important than ever. Obviously, I saw a little bit of chat on the chat box earlier about how to kind of not fend off, activists, but to reply to people that disagree with us. And the one thing I'd say is, don't let it put you off, because it's such a small percentage of the population, and it's even smaller percentage that will actually message you. It is hard when people disagree with what we do, but people are always going to say something, so just leave it with them. I've had people say things to me in the past, and personally I don't think it warrants a response unless they're genuinely asking a question. So I'd just say, have a go, be open, but like everybody said earlier, find somewhere where you can get facts, reliable facts, and stick to them, because I've got proof this is what happens and like Rachel said, this is what's happening on my farm. I'm showing you day to day. I'm not saying what anybody else does. It's just proof really that this is what we're doing, and we've been doing it for 5 generations. So yeah, it's kind of like a big family story into one.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Amy. I'm going to hand back over to Karen now, who is then going to ask Becky to introduce our next finalist.
Yeah,
so thank you,
you. Thank you both, and good luck to Amy. Thoroughly deserved. Okay, now we go over to our second finalist, who is Sophie Gregory. Sophie is going to be introduced by Becky Miles from AHDB. So are we both online? Yes, we are. Hi there, Sophie.
Hello.
Hi. Is Becky here?
Hi, I'm having trouble showing my camera. I keep trying.
Okay,
there we go.
Don't worry.
It's letting me now.
Oh,
Coming in.
Okay, thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Karen. Hi, Sophie. Lovely to see you, because we've spoken briefly, but yeah, we haven't had the technology to actually meet each other face to face. So many congratulations on being a finalist. I don't know how you found the time to even join us today. You're such a busy person. It's incredible. So a bit of background about Sophie. She met her husband when they were 16 years of age. So it was meant to be. The stars were aligned. Her husband came from a family background, but went off and did foot trimming and engineering as a profession. They had a child when Sophie was 18, and Sophie trained as an accountant and worked at Old Mill. Tom did go back to the family farm after a lot of consideration. I think there were misgivings on all sides. You know, are you sure? Do you really should you be doing this? But they went for it, and they've built up from really not very much to now having 360 cows on 900 plus acres. They've done a phenomenal job. Sophie's got no background in farming whatsoever. She's married into it, and she's one of, and there are many of you out there who are self-taught and oh, I just do the accounts. You don't just do it. You are incredible, and Sophie is standing up for these people that are self-taught and making such a great job of it. So they've now got, they built the business up. They chose quite a tricky time to do it, but they with milk price crashed around them. But now she's responsible for the accounts on the farm. She does the milking. She looks after the young stock. She's now got 3 children. And they have 4 apprentices. They have apprentices on the farm, so they're bringing the next generation through, giving people opportunity on the farm to make a career in farming. So hats off to that. But on top of all of that, she, and I'm going to read this out because this is the statement that the person that put you forward for the award says, Sophie uses her Instagram page on a daily basis, posts updates on what is happening on the farm. She's also part of several focus groups and takes part in Farmer Time. Sophie and her family have also been featured in various Arla videos all about farming, and take part in Open Farm Sunday, doing live videos for their Facebook page. And I think it's that you go the extra, it's not just the farming and being a mum and everything else, but putting yourself out there, much as Amy's done, and educating, and coming from that non-farming background. I think you do it in such a fantastic way that explains it to someone that knows nothing about it. So thank you for doing that. I'm just losing my notes now. So I just want to ask you a couple of questions, because we're going to run out of time. Time just always runs away with us. 2 things. Tell us what you love about the dairy industry and what you would say to someone contemplating coming into it.
I think about the dairy industry, for me, sort of day to day, is how different every day is. So no matter how much you plan, it's always different. I love teaching, so our apprentices, the one we have at the moment, it isn't from an ag background, and that's been really good for me and for the other members of staff to bring her through, and just seeing her flourish is really, really rewarding. And what would I say, people coming into the industry, I'd say get yourself a mentor. We've had a really great business partner who's been instrumental to our farming business, and I would say go and volunteer at a local farm and just get some experience, and learn from others. Discussion groups are great. Just put yourself forward and don't give up, would be my advice.
That's perfect. Thank you, Sophie. The most favourite thing you said to me when we had a brief chat yesterday was, I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm a fraud. Well, evidently you are not. So I thought that was a beautiful statement. Thank you very much, and best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. So I hope everybody now is understanding why this was so difficult for us as judges. It was not easy. And it's going to get harder because you're going to meet the next two ladies. So you're going to meet some sisters, and we're going to have, just let me bear with me, I can't see who I'm handing over to. Great, no, sorry, Victoria.
Me.
Sorry, Victoria, I was hoping you were going to come on and rescue me. So last but not least, we've got Poppy and Josie Lewis, and Victoria from RABDF is going to have a word with them for us. Thank you.
Hi both, how are you?
Hiya, good,
Hi.
thank you.
Have you had a new arrival or not since we last spoke?
No.
For everyone listening, there is a baby.
We're hanging in there, yeah.
There's a baby due any day, so
Yeah.
we weren't sure if they...
I think I'm the only person that was glad this conference was on Zoom.
Yeah, so I similarly to Emily and Becky, I'm just going to give a bit of background on Poppy and Josie, who are our third finalists for this year's award. We spoke on the phone last week, and I was able to ask them a few questions about their journey. So they were born on their family farm in Clerkenhill in Haverfordwest, and have been involved in farming since they were really small. As they grew up, they both ended up doing their own thing, only to find that actually farming back at home was the path for them. Whilst they were away from the farm, Poppy looked into a career in counselling, whilst Josie went travelling to New Zealand and Australia. This was where her work experience sort of led her to know she was destined to come back home. Both of you, when I spoke to you, agreed that you thought one of the biggest challenges that's facing the sector is the rise in veganism. And whilst it hasn't affected you directly in your everyday life, it's been one of the driving factors behind you wanting to educate people. Am I right in saying that, and teaching them about the industry? Similarly, they want to demonstrate to those outside the sector what you're doing to combat the environmental issues, and you both agree that you must work sort of with it rather than against it. And these are both examples really of why the farm has implemented the viewing gallery, which is aimed at educating those from non-farming backgrounds and giving them a chance to not only just see the cows, but also find out how things work on a dairy farm. When I asked both on the phone last week who their inspiration was, you did say your parents, and you said that whilst it was a benefit to have a family farm to be able to come home and work on, that doesn't need to be a limiting factor. So if there's, if anyone is thinking about it, there's absolutely nothing to stop you. You said that working in the countryside and being part of the farming community are a couple of the things that you most love about your everyday jobs. So sort of that's a bit of background, but I've got a couple of things I sort of wanted to just ask, following the theme really of the previous two introductions. I wondered what your advice really would be for anyone wanting to join the industry, and what your most memorable moment is in your career so far.
So basically a lot like what the other two have said really. It's definitely an industry that you have to want to do. It is a way of life, 24/7, but it's absolutely amazing, and with that it is just the best career path you could have. But I think as long as you want to farm, there's absolutely no reason why you can't. It's a passionate industry, and that's all you really need is the want to do it, and then just getting out there and talking to people. And like, this whole thing has been about communication, and that really is what it's about. We've had on our Instagram loads of youngsters come in and say, we want to farm, like, how can we do it? And it's just getting yourself out there and wanting to do it, and that is all it takes, is just the will.
And just taking every opportunity you can grasp really, because obviously there's so many different parts to agriculture. You can obviously, there's the physical farming, but there's loads of other things to farming as well, and just try loads of different things, see what you enjoy, and then go from there.
And just, yeah, quickly before we go, because I'll be getting hurried along in a second, what is your most memorable moment for you? I suppose it's a really difficult one.
Yeah, so we've both been farming now for 6 years, and a lot's happened in that time. We've learnt so much off our parents, but we're the 4th generation of our farm. And in the last year, we did a whole new setup where we put in a brand new parlour, and yeah, we just made it kind of our own, and it was a massive step in the right direction for us as sisters. We've kind of made the farm how we want to see it in the future. So that was a massive achievement for us, and we moved into our new system then in October last year, so it's coming up to a year. So yeah, that was,
yeah, that first day where the cows came into Mott for the first time was just such an amazing feeling, and they were so happy and we were so happy, so you can't get better than that.
No, I bet. And there's lots more to look forward to by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I'll hand back to you, Karen. Sorry.
Thank you, Victoria. No, that's brilliant. We're still in time. Don't worry, we're hanging in there. It's just brilliant, and it's so inspirational to know that these are the people we've got in the future of our industry. And what really came out of the interviews was they all wanted to put the record straight regarding milk and veganism and all the bad stories out there. So we've got them to fight our corner. So we're so lucky. Okay, so we're just coming up to time now where I'm going to ask Grace from HSBC to talk about her thoughts on the 4 finalists. And then Grace gets the fantastic job of announcing the winner. So over to you. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Karen. And I know how much fun it was surprising you last year. I don't know where the time has gone. And I absolutely second that yet again, the calibre of the candidates nominated should make us so proud of the dairy sector and the talent within it. I'd like to say thank you to Amy, Sophie, Poppy and Josie for all that you do within the sector, and also, as Karen said, for shouting about it to the non-farming community. It's so important with the work you do and the task you take on to influence others. I like the phrase about fact-checking, promoting dairy as a sector and as a career, and nurturing people of all ages, depending on your situation, into it. I think everybody listening will see from the chats we've just had now what strong candidates you all are, and you should be very proud of yourselves. I'm also glad I wasn't a judge this year, because I acknowledge what a difficult choice it was last year, and again we've done it again. We focused a lot today on the importance of people within our farming businesses, and with people like the women we have just seen, we should have great confidence that the future of this sector is in strong and safe hands. So thank you for all you do. And I'd also just like to say thank you to the judges for the work that they did as well. And now on to the winner. Karen, is it okay if I announce the winner and then make a few things for them? They might want a few moments to gather their thoughts.
No, absolutely. You go
right.
For it, yeah.
So the winner, drum roll. Congratulations, Sophie Gregory, to be Women in Dairy's Woman of the Year. Well done you, and well done on everything you do. I'd just like to give you a moment or two to gather your thoughts whilst I reference some of the really strong statements that were made about you. You have a can-do attitude, your enthusiasm and your balanced approach came across so strongly. You didn't shy away from taking a lead in the finances. You challenged farming to be financially rewarding, and you were quoted or maybe paraphrased as saying, "You've got to be smart to farm." You came across as a very professional and confident lady in all that you do. So I'm absolutely delighted to let you know that you are the winner of this year's competition.
Oh, thank you so much. I've got one of the children with me. What an honour. I don't really know what to say. I'm so shocked. Yeah, thank you so much. It's such an honour to work in such a passionate industry. And I really hope if it just helps one person think, actually, I can do this, then my job's done. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for all of you. It's been such an interesting morning as well. And a nice distraction from normal day-to-day bits, but yeah, thank you to everyone involved, and to the other finalists as well, all so passionate and great to be alongside you.
Thank you, Sophie. Truly deserved, as all Absolutely. 3 of you. Yeah, it was really difficult. but I'm so pleased. I'll pop the crown in the post later this evening. So look out
You have
for that.
to do that, Karen. You have to let go.
I know I've got to let go. I'm not good at letting go, you know. I'm a bit of a control freak. No, but I think it's brilliant. Yeah, it was amazing. So to all of you, and I can pass that on, knowing it's going to really safe hands and you're going to promote the industry. I know all of you, all the finalists, all 4 of you are going to be just fantastic for the future of our industry going forward. And it's just brilliant. So thank you, everybody. And thank you for everybody who, you know, took the time to do the interviewing. And I know you all had to take time out of your days as well to do that and to attend today. I'm just going to remind everybody